Welcome to part 46 of the Dogs of Ancient Egypt. Let's look at dog number 218. This piece actually has two dogs and a pig on it. This is an ostraca found in the Dakhla Oasis. An ostraca is usually a loose piece of stone or broken piece of pottery that an artist or scribe used typically as like a sketch pad. This piece in particular is made out of a loose piece of sandstone, and unfortunately I don't have an actual picture of it, I only have this drawing. This piece probably dates to the early Old Kingdom, sometime around the 5th or 6th dynasty. As I said, this piece has two dogs, probably a Tessem hound pursuing this pig in the middle. I unfortunately did not have access to the scholarly paper that first originally published this piece, but I did find another article that talked about it, don't worry. And of course, it doesn't focus on the dogs at all. This article is called A Representation of a Wild Boar or Warthog in Egypt During Pharaonic Times. The author is Nicholas Manulus, and he tells us that the tail of this pig helps us determine what type of pig it is. The little tuft of hair that is at the very end of the tail that sticks straight up when the pig is running, and the massive snout are not actually characteristics of a domestic pig. So he argues that between the wild boar, which doesn't have that long of a tail, or the warthog, which always has tusks that unfortunately don't appear here, he's kind of debating in between those two. He also talks about how wild boars specifically are rarely depicted in Egypt, and a warthog has never been depicted. And that's probably because they don't really live near Egypt during the pre-dynastic or Old Kingdom period. So he's kind of back and forth, but it does appear that this is probably a wild boar rather than a domestic pig or rather than a warthog. So didn't learn that much extra about the dogs that we have here, but I did get to learn about all the different pigs in ancient Egypt. So let's go on to the next dog.